You ever meet a woman who seems almost flawless, confident, charming, magnetic, yet deep inside you sense something doesn't feel right, like there's a part of her story she isn't sharing? Ignore that feeling, and it can cost you years of your life, your emotional energy, and maybe even your self-respect. The reality is women often reveal patterns about their past without even realizing it. Small clues that speak louder than anything they say. I'm about to show you 7 clear signs she's been with a lot of men. And the 4th one is the most dangerous form of manipulation I've ever witnessed a woman use. As someone who has coached men for years, I've seen countless guys wake up too late, realizing they ignored the red flags. They thought everything was perfect, until it wasn't. Don't be that guy. Notice these patterns early, and you free yourself to find a connection that truly works for you. Subscribe and share in the comments if you've ever had a moment when you felt something was off in a relationship. Your story might save another man from falling into the same trap, because in just a moment, I'm going to reveal the first sign. And believe me, it's one most men completely misread. She becomes comfortable with closeness too quickly. Listen closely, because this is where most men get fooled. You meet a woman, and within days, sometimes even hours, she talks about physical closeness like she's discussing the weather. She sits across from you, locks eyes, maybe throws in a sly comment about past experiences, and you're thinking, wow, she's bold. She's free. She's into me. No, my friend. What you're seeing might not be confidence. It might be emotional numbness. A woman who truly values connection usually has a natural boundary when it comes to intimacy. Not because she's shy or old-fashioned, but because she understands its meaning. She knows closeness is meant to build slowly, with trust, vulnerability, and emotional investment layered over time. When that natural hesitation is gone, it's not freedom. It's a warning sign. It means those boundaries have been crossed so often they no longer exist. Think of it like a lock that's been broken into too many times. Eventually, it doesn't protect anything anymore. It just hangs there, useless. That's what happens when someone has had too many intense encounters without emotional depth. The meaning gets stripped away and intimacy becomes mechanical. Something to do, not something to feel. Pay attention to the little signals. Does she blush when things turn intimate? Does she hesitate like she's processing the weight of the moment? Or does she breeze through it like she's had this same conversation 1,000 times? Does she casually touch your arm, lean in close, make you feel the spark, without a flicker of vulnerability in her eyes? That's not passion. That's muscle memory. The real danger is you'll mistake her lack of modesty for deep connection. You'll tell yourself, we've got this insane chemistry, it's fate. But the truth is she's repeating a script she's rehearsed before, and you're just the latest co-star. The timing, the touches, the words, they feel natural to her because she's done it all before. And here's the painful part. Once intimacy loses its emotional weight, you can't get it back. You can't recreate the magic of firsts with someone who has turned those moments into routine. There's no build-up, no emotional tension, no sense of rarity. The bond you think you're forming is far weaker than it appears because the glue, emotional exclusivity, is gone. So here's my advice. Don't confuse instant closeness with real connection. Just because she crosses the line fast doesn't mean she chose you. It might mean the line doesn't exist anymore. And if that's the case, you're walking into a relationship where the most important bond, the one that grows from intimacy, is already fractured before you even start. Then there's the woman who keeps a permanent emotional wall. This one fools even the smartest men. She sits across from you, smiling, laughing, maybe even sharing a few vulnerable moments that seem personal. But here's the reality: you're not seeing the real her. You're seeing the performance. A woman with an emotional wall knows how to make you feel close without ever letting you get close. It's like touring a house where all the important doors stay locked. You can peek at the hallway, maybe the living room, but the rooms with the real memories, off limits. This wall isn't the same as healthy boundaries. Boundaries protect both people while trust grows. This is different. This wall is built brick by brick from years of heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment. Every man before you added a layer. Now she's a fortress. You'll sense it when conversations hover on the surface. Ask her about her fears, her childhood, the moments that shaped her, and she'll deflect. Maybe with a joke, maybe by changing the subject so smoothly you barely notice. But you'll feel it. She's holding back. And here's what hurts. A man who wants real connection will naturally open up first, hoping she'll follow. You'll share your struggles, ambitions, heartbreaks. She'll respond warmly enough to make you think she understands, but her response will lack depth. She reacts. She doesn't truly share. Over time, you give more than you get. You invest in a relationship that was capped from the start. When conflict arrives, and it always does, her wall turns to stone. She shuts down, disappears, or decides the relationship isn't working. Not because she's confused, but because hiding feels safer than closeness. So watch for it. If months pass and you still feel that invisible barrier, it's not your imagination, it's the wall. And loving someone behind it will slowly drain you until you wake up realizing you were alone the whole time. Some women surround themselves with an overcrowded network of men. You've heard it before. Oh, they're just friends. Sometimes it's true. But when her social circle is mostly men, when her phone lights up all day with messages from guys you've never met, when there's a male friend for every story she tells, that's a pattern. Women who constantly keep men around aren't always just outgoing. Often, it's about validation, a steady stream of attention proving she's wanted, attractive, relevant. It's addictive. She might stay in contact with exes. She might have male friends who openly flirt or would date her if they could. She brushes it off with, "He's harmless," or "We've known each other forever." But harmless men don't send late-night texts. Harmless men don't suddenly call when you're out of town. You might notice her female friendships are shallow or strained. Why? Because real female friendships require emotional depth, not just surface-level attention. Male attention is easier. It asks for little and gives her constant reassurance. And here's the hidden danger. If your relationship ends or even hits a rough patch, one of those male friends can slide into your place instantly. She doesn't start from zero. She just promotes someone from the bench. A woman who keeps that much backup male attention isn't fully present with you, no matter what she claims. And deep down, you'll always feel the competition. That's not the soil trust grows in. And sometimes what pulls two people close is not just the way they touch, but the way they feel safe in each other's presence. It is the way his hand finds yours under the covers, like it was always meant to be there, or how she rests her head on his chest, hearing the rhythm of his heart, letting it calm the chaos in her mind. These small moments of comfort are what build a bridge that words can never build. They are silent, but they say everything. That is why some nights stay alive in memory forever. Not because of what was said, but because of what was felt. The truth is, most people think intimacy is only about physical closeness. But real intimacy starts long before the first kiss or the first time your bodies meet. It begins in the way two people look at each other, in the way they share secrets they have never spoken out loud, in the way they laugh until their stomachs hurt, or sit quietly without needing to fill the silence. When a man really connects with a woman beyond the surface, she feels it in the smallest details, in how he listens, how he notices things about her nobody else sees, how he remembers what she said weeks ago. But here is the part many miss. True closeness requires presence. You can't fake it. If a man is only half there, lost in his phone or his own thoughts, she will feel it. Women feel energy more than words. When he touches her with his mind somewhere else, it is just skin on skin. But when he touches her with his full presence, with his heart awake, she melts in ways she cannot explain. Because what she wants is not just his hands. It is his attention, his care, his focus, like she is the only one in the room. This is why some kisses leave no memory, while others haunt you for years. It is not the kiss itself, but the emotion behind it. A kiss given with real feeling can speak louder than 1,000 sentences. When he kisses her slowly, like there is no rush, like she is not just a body, but a universe he wants to explore, she feels wanted in a way that changes her. And when she kisses him back with the same depth, he feels it too. The spark, the warmth, the sense that for this moment in time nothing else exists. The closeness grows when two people learn each other's emotional language. Some women need words, others need actions. Some need both. A man who learns how she feels loved, whether through gentle touches, long talks, acts of care, or playful teasing, creates a connection that goes far beyond the physical, because the body follows where the heart goes. And here is another truth few talk about. When a woman gives herself emotionally, she gives far more than her body. She gives her trust, her softness, her hidden self she doesn't show the world. That is why careless intimacy can hurt so deeply. Because she is not just sharing a night, she is sharing a piece of her soul. A man who understands this will never take her lightly. He will know that every time she opens up, she is risking pieces of herself. When two people meet on this deeper level, even simple things become powerful. Holding hands on a quiet walk, cooking together, laughing over something silly, it all turns into glue that keeps hearts tied. Because intimacy is built in layers. The laughter, the deep talks, the way he pulls her close when she is upset, the way she believes in him when the world doubts him. These are the layers that make love feel alive. But emotional closeness also needs mystery. Too much routine kills the spark. A little surprise, a little unpredictability, a playful text in the middle of the day, an unplanned date, a sudden hug from behind. These things keep the fire burning. Love grows when comfort meets excitement, when safety meets passion. Some men think they have to be perfect to make a woman happy. But that is not true. What she really wants is honesty and effort. She wants to feel chosen every day, even on the days when life is messy and nothing goes right. She wants to feel like he still sees her as special, not just in the beginning, but always. And when a man gives this kind of emotional presence, something magical happens. Her guard comes down, her laughter gets louder, her touch becomes warmer. She starts to feel at home with him, like she doesn't have to pretend or be anyone else. And when a woman feels at home in a man's heart, she gives a kind of love that can move mountains. That is why real intimacy is rare. It takes two people willing to be real, to be vulnerable, to show both their strength and their scars. It takes time, patience, and the courage to truly see each other. But when it happens, when two souls meet in that way, it changes everything. Because when two people reach that place, even silence feels full. Sitting together without speaking, yet feeling everything. That is when you know this is not ordinary. That is when you realize intimacy is not built on constant talking or endless words, but on a sense of closeness that does not need to be explained. It is the comfort of knowing someone sees you, truly sees you, without needing you to be anyone else. And in that silence, something powerful grows. A woman begins to trust in ways she never thought possible. A man begins to open up in ways he never knew he could. Because when there is safety, the walls slowly fall. And when the walls fall, love walks in with both feet. That is when two people stop pretending, stop hiding, stop playing games. They start showing the parts of themselves they were once afraid to share. The fears, the dreams, the past hurts, the things they thought nobody would understand. When this happens, the bond becomes unshakable. Because it is easy to love someone's smile, their beauty, their charm. But when you see their tears, when you know their insecurities, when you hear the stories of their battles and you still stay, that is love built on something real. That is the kind of closeness that no storm can break. And here is the part people forget. Intimacy is not just about taking, it is about giving. It is not only about what you feel, but about what you offer. When a man gives his time, his care, his presence, he is telling her without words, "You matter, I choose you." Not just when it is easy, but always. When a woman gives her softness, her laughter, her belief in him, she is telling him, "You are safe here. You are enough." That giving turns love into a circle where both hearts keep filling each other over and over again. But the problem today is that many want the closeness without the patience, the depth without the effort. They want the fire, but not the work of keeping it burning. Real intimacy takes time. It takes late night talks when both are tired but still want to hear each other's voices. It takes forgiveness after misunderstandings. It takes choosing each other even on hard days. Because passion will start the story, but friendship will keep it alive. When lovers become friends too, when they can laugh at the same jokes, cry over the same movies, dream about the same future, then the connection becomes something unbreakable. There will always be moments when life tests this closeness. Times when distance, stress, or disagreements come in like heavy rain. But the couples who last are the ones who remember why they started. They remember the nights when they held each other close, the mornings when they made coffee together, the promises they whispered in the dark. They fight for each other, not against each other. And the truth is, the little things matter more than people think. A simple, "I miss you," a random kiss on the forehead, a hand on the back when crossing the street. These are small acts, but they speak loudly. They tell the heart, "I see you, I am here, I care." And when those small things are done with love, they build a closeness that no grand gesture can replace. So, real intimacy is not about perfection. It is not about two people who never argue or never feel doubt. It is about two people who keep coming back to each other, who keep choosing each other, even after the storms. It is about staying when it would be easier to leave, about listening when it would be easier to ignore, about loving when it would be easier to shut down. And when you find this kind of closeness, you will notice something beautiful. Life feels lighter. The world feels less cold. Because having one person who truly knows you, who truly loves you, makes everything else a little easier to face. That is the gift of real intimacy. It does not just connect bodies, it heals hearts, it softens lives, it turns ordinary days into memories you carry forever. Because when two people share this kind of closeness, even the simplest things feel different. A meal together tastes better. A walk in the park feels special. A normal day turns into something you want to remember. That is because it is not about what you do, but about who you do it with. Real intimacy makes the ordinary feel alive. It turns a small apartment into a home, a quiet evening into a memory, a simple touch into a promise. And you start to notice how love shows itself in ways that are easy to miss if you are not paying attention. The way he brings her a blanket when she falls asleep on the couch. The way she checks if he ate before she eats herself. The way he keeps her favorite snack in the kitchen without her asking. The way she texts him when she knows he had a hard day. These are not big things, but they matter more than anyone realizes. They build trust without words, comfort without effort, love without noise. But the real beauty is how this closeness changes people from the inside. A woman who feels deeply loved becomes softer, calmer, more confident. A man who feels truly respected becomes stronger, more open, more patient. Love done right does not drain you, it grows you. It does not make you weaker, it makes you better. Because when someone believes in you, supports you, chooses you again and again, you start believing in yourself more too. And yet, many do not understand that intimacy has layers. Physical closeness is only the first one. Then comes emotional closeness, the way you open up about your dreams, your fears, your childhood memories, your secret hopes. Then comes intellectual closeness, talking about life, ideas, the future, things you believe in. And then there is spiritual closeness, the feeling that your souls understand each other in ways words cannot explain. When all these layers come together, the bond becomes something rare, something people spend a lifetime searching for. But for this to happen, both people must be brave. Because real closeness means real risk. It means letting someone see you when you are not strong, not perfect, not pretending. It means showing the parts you hide from the world, the scars, the doubts, the mistakes. And that is scary because what if they judge you? What if they leave? What if they do not understand? That is why so many people stay on the surface. It feels safer there, but it is also emptier there. Because without depth, love stays shallow. When two people take that risk, when they open the door fully and say, "This is all of me, the good and the broken," and the other person stays, loves them even more, then something unshakable is built. A kind of safety no money, no success, no beauty can replace. Because being loved for only your best parts is nice, but being loved for all your parts, that is freedom. And it is not always easy. There will be disagreements, different opinions, hard days when you are tired, stressed, or just not your best self. But closeness means you can fight without breaking, argue without leaving, get angry without losing respect. It means you can say, "I'm sorry," and hear, "I forgive you." It means you can be human together. What makes it even stronger is the laughter. Because couples who can laugh together through the chaos, who can be silly, playful, even childish with each other, build a bond that survives the serious times too. Laughter keeps love young. It keeps it light. It reminds you why you chose each other in the first place. And slowly you realize closeness is not something you find once and keep forever. It is something you choose every single day. In the morning when you wake up tired. At night when life feels heavy. On days when things go wrong. You keep choosing to love, to listen, to stay soft when the world makes you want to be hard. That is what keeps love alive when the first excitement fades. Because in the end, real intimacy is not about the perfect moment or the perfect person. It is about two imperfect people deciding again and again that what they have is worth it. It is about seeing each other clearly, flaws and all, and staying anyway. It is about turning two separate lives into one shared story, written slowly, page by page, day by day. Sure, I'll continue exactly where it ended, keeping the same emotional tone. Simple language, only small word changes, no headings. and making sure the length keeps growing naturally. And as this story keeps unfolding, you start to realize the most beautiful parts of love are never loud. They are quiet, steady, and often unnoticed by the world outside. It is not the expensive dinners or the perfect pictures people post online. It is the way he looks at her when she is not watching. It is the way she saves the last piece of cake for him. It is the way he holds her hand in public, not to show off, but because he simply likes having her close. Those are the pieces of love that stay when everything else fades, because real closeness is not built in grand moments, but in small ones stacked together over time. It is the consistency, the everyday choices, the way two people learn each other so well that they can tell when something is wrong without a single word being spoken. It is in the way they celebrate each other's wins, even the small ones, and comfort each other's losses, even the hidden ones. And over time, this kind of love starts to feel like home. Not the kind of home that is perfect and shiny, but the kind where you can walk in with messy hair, a tired heart, and still feel like you belong. Where you are loved on your best days, but needed even on your worst ones. Because belonging is what the soul truly craves. More than passion, more than excitement, it wants a place where it can rest, where it can be fully itself without fear. That is why so many relationships fail. People chase the fire but forget to build the foundation. They want the butterflies but not the roots. But fire without roots burns out quickly. Real intimacy gives you both. The passion that excites you and the safety that grounds you. It makes love feel alive but also unshakable. And you learn that sometimes love is not about huge sacrifices or dramatic moments. Sometimes it is about making tea when they are sick, about listening even when you are tired, about choosing to stay in when you would rather go out because they had a long day and just need you there. Love is in the ordinary, but it turns the ordinary into something holy. It also teaches you patience, because the person you love will not always be easy to love. They will have moods, fears, insecurities, moments when they push you away. And real closeness means staying even then, holding on even then, reminding them with your presence, I'm not here only for the good parts. I'm here for all of it. Over time, this builds trust so deep that even when life shakes everything else, the two of you stay standing, because you know each other too well to let small storms break what you have built. You have seen the best and the worst of each other and decided it was all worth it. And when you reach that point, love stops being about needing someone and becomes about choosing someone. Every day, again and again. Not because you cannot live without them, but because life is simply better with them in it. Because they are your person, your safe place, your laughter, your comfort, your home in human form. That is why real intimacy is rare. It takes work, patience, courage, and the willingness to stay soft in a world that keeps trying to harden people. But when you find it, when you build it, you realize it is the closest thing we have to magic in this life.